Hello, Serendipitous here with another video for the board game shelf. Continuing on with the horror vibes. This is horror Cthulhu vibes. This is not necessarily Cthulhu. This is more of like seance ghost story kind of thing. But Mysterium. This is I quite like Mysterium. It's pretty cool. It's got essentially the idea is that the players are a group of like mystics that are gathering in a manner where a murder happened. There's some lore there, and lore of the different characters. They all have different. They all do different kinds of divination. You got like pendulum divination, bibliomancy, tarot reading, someone with the talisman, numerology, and crystal ball gazing. There's a lot of components to this, oddly enough. But one of the players is actually the ghost who's trying to help the mystics figure out who done it. But the ghost can only do so much. So I really like this sort of. Sorry about that. This screen, almost like a. This could be a pretty nice game master screen, honestly, for a spooky tabletop RPG. But yeah, there's pockets inside. There's lots of different pieces that kind of like track where the various characters are. I feel like at times there's probably more pieces than sometimes feel necessary, because the game is not as complex as it might seem, as the number of pieces might make it seem. Essentially, what you have you generally have three different kinds of cards. You have person cards, location cards, and item cards. And there are two versions of each. So, for example, we've got all the blue cards are the cards the ghosts have, and then the non-blue ones are the ones that the rest of the players have, the mystics. So essentially, I guess this is a mix for some reason, and there's numbers that correspond. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to like find a match here, but they're essentially meant to like have the same thing. These are different numbers. There's number 9 and number 11. And this is just like slightly smaller. But the person cards essentially just show you this. There's a portrait of some kind of character and various things around them that kind of show their occupation. And you see here we go. So yeah, ghost and player cards there. But yeah, you can see all kinds of different characters and the various things for their occupations and their ways of life and everything. Think of Clue, actually. So among the various suspects and among the various possibilities, there is one person who killed the person who's now a ghost, and it happened in one location, and the murderer used one particular item. Location cards look like this, where you basically have like a kind of a painting of a different room or a different location. And then item cards, not sure where the item cards are exactly, but there should be an example. Locations there, and then items. Yeah, here we go. Just a simple kind of thing that looks like this, basically. So kind of showing the kind of item that might have been used to enact the crime. So the way it works is that the ghost. The person who plays as the ghost is not allowed to really say anything to the player. They have to remain silent, and they have various. They need to try to give the players clues of what so even though they can't say a word, they need to give the mystic players clues on what the right answers are, and they use these cards. If you've ever played Dixit. It's pretty similar to that. These are a bunch of like abstract cards that have a lot of different images on them, a lot of different things that you could look at and everything. And basically the ghost player is supposed to give one or more of these cards to each of the mystic players to kind of try to suggest them towards a certain person, location, or item card. So for example, if the ghost is trying to get the mystics to guess this person out of a possibility of several others, right? They would need to find something on this person's card that they could somehow maybe point to. Maybe it could be a color, maybe it could be a shape, maybe it could be like a general idea of like, delivery or a postage delivery or travel or things like that. But it's honestly quite tough. I played this game several times, both as a player and as a ghost, as a mystic and as a ghost. And they're both hard. You basically have to sort of like be really in tune with each other to really like get it, because there have been many times where I thought that I knew what I was telling the players when I was a ghost, or I thought I understood what the ghost was trying to tell me, and that was not it at all. I was entirely wrong. So yeah, um, that's so yeah, it's gonna be kind of challenging. It's basically cooperative. It's like cooperative Clue essentially. These various pieces kind of like help you to keep track. These various pieces you lay out on the table help you to keep track of where you are. Like you first try to guess the person, then you try to guess the location, then you try to guess the item. Each mystic will have a different person, location, and item they have to guess, and then when they reach the end, they have to figure out which combination is the right one. So it takes a bit of time and a bit of guesswork. And there's also a bit of a timer. You sort of like create this clock essentially, and every round the clock ticks down, because the idea like the lore of the game is that the mystics only have like 7 hours to figure out what the ghost is trying to tell them, and then the ghost will have to be silent for the rest of the year. Silent, and then they won't be able to get in contact with the ghost for another year. So you're trying to solve the mystery tonight, essentially. But yeah, various tracks. Like I said, there's it can be a bit fiddly with a lot of like different parts and everything. But I feel like I've explained the basic core, the core mechanics of what this game does or is trying to do. And yeah, it's fun. The art is lovely, and I think it's good fun and fun vibes if you're into sort of like spooky ghost story type things. Although it is still at least a little bit lighthearted as well. But yeah, cooperative Clue I think is a good way to put it. If you mixed in Dixit, which Dixit is a different game where you try to get someone to guess a certain word or idea or whatever based on abstract art cards. But yeah, cooperative Clue mixed with Dixit, and you have Mysterium. So that's pretty much all I've got there. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and until next time, all the best.